Polygon Matic Value Expectation January 2026. Concerning January 2026, Polygon cost generally is checked to basically show up at a most negligible possible level of 212. The Matic cost could explicitly show up at a most outrageous possible level of 241, with the common guess cost of 234, which generally is genuinely huge. Polygon Matic value conjecture. February 2026. For February, the expense of Polygon truly is expected to show up at a regular month-to-month, furthest truly reaches of 239, while the coin will trade between a constraint of 250 and its sword of the least 230. In an unobtrusive manner, Polygon value forecast generally walk 2026. The expense of Polygon truly is expected to basically arrive at anyway, worth of 235 in 2026. The Matic cost could show up at a biggest pretty worth of 260 with the run-of-the-mill trading cost of 246 all through 2026, sort of an opposition to prevalent thinking. Polygon Matic value expectation April 2026. As for April 2026, Polygon cost fundamentally is gauged to show up at a barely the most impossible level of 245. In a significant manner, the Matic cost could especially show up at a biggest possible level of 270. With the regular guess cost of 256. Polygon Matic value conjecture. May 2026. For May, the expense of Polygon in a real sense is expected to for the most part show up at a run-of-the-mill month-to-month in a real sense, the furthest reaches of 263, while the coin will trade between a restriction of 280 and something like 252. In a sort of significant manner, Polygon value figure June 2026. The ordinary expense of Polygon Matic could go to 271. Toward June's end, in a kind of significant manner, Matic could really be trading around a biggest especially worth of 290. With the base expected cost of 262. Polygon Matic value figure July 2026. For July, the expense of Polygon is expected to generally show up at an ordinary month-to-month, actually the furthest generally reaches of 279, while the coin will trade between a restriction of 304 and no less than 271, which is very huge. Polygon value gauge August 2026. The fundamentally typical expense of Polygon Matic could basically go to 285. Toward August's end or so, they sort of thought Matic could explicitly be trading around a biggest worth of 318. With the base expected cost of 276. Incredibly, Polygon Matic value figure. September 2026. For September, the expense of Polygon for the most part is expected to truly show up at an ordinary month-to-month in a real sense, the furthest really reaches of 291, while the coin will trade between a constraint of 329 and something like 282, which certainly is very huge. Polygon Matic value figure October 2026. For October, the expense of Polygon by and large is expected to generally show up at a normal month-to-month, most certainly the furthest certainly reaches of 297. While the coin will trade between a restriction of 344 and something like 288, which is very critical. Polygon value estimate November 2026. The ordinary expense of Polygon Matic could in a real sense go to 303 toward November's end, sort of an opposition to mainstream thinking. Matic could sort of trade around a generally truly outrageous fundamentally worth of 356, with the base expected cost of 291. In a for the most part significant manner, Polygon Matic value expectation December 2026. Regarding December 2026, Polygon cost truly is checked to truly show up at a most insignificant possible level of 306 or so. They thought the Matic cost could by and large show up at a biggest possible level of 368, with the regular guess cost of 315 within the latest 1 month. The expense of Matic reduced by 39,396, killing a mind-blowing truly typical measure of 0.58 from its continuous order of worth in a genuinely significant manner. This unforeseen down suggests that the coin is in plunge right now, suggesting that it will in general be a respectable buy, a likely sort of entryway for rapid hypothesis. In an unpretentious manner, the 90 days cost change truly is close 65.15, and the expense surrounded from a base run-of-the-mill cost of 251 to generally in every way that really matters outrageous sort of typical expense of 258 in the past 90 days, which truly is very huge. Polygon especially is someplace close 5740, with the best normal expense of the coin was around 240. And the base run-of-the-mill worth of especially was around 208 in past 4 months, certainly in opposition to mainstream thinking. Polygon value conjecture 2026 facts. What will in every way that really matters be Polygon truly worth in 2026? The Matic cost for the most part is gauged to show up at a most by and large outrageous level of 368. With actually the smallest expense of 306, close to the completion of 2026, in an unobtrusive manner. Does Polygon in every practical sense have a future, or so they really thought, to the extent that worth Polygon fundamentally has an excellent essentially potential to show up at new levels, kind of in opposition to prevalent thinking. Fundamentally it for the most part is measured that Matic will augment in regard, according to express-trained professionals and business inspectors. Polygon can fundamentally cause a commotion in and out of town cost of 368 till 2030 or so. They thought, is Polygon truly worth buying in 2026? In a genuinely enormous manner, Polygon's worth essentially should continue to reach out as lack will and sort of broad empower cost rise, which fundamentally is genuinely critical. Sympathetically note they are sort of as a bet to any endeavor which truly is very huge, just truly placed assets into what you can by and large accomplish before showing up at any goals and lead the most outrageous assessment possible. Polygon value figure January 2027. The sort of ordinary expense of Polygon Matic could go to 330 toward January's end. In an unobtrusive manner, Matic could be trading around a generally lovely outrageous worth of 340, with the base expected cost of 302, which for the most part is genuinely critical. Matic value estimate February 2027. In February 2027, the expense of Polygon basically is gauged to be at around a base commonly worth of 328. In a very enormous manner, the Polygon esteem commonly worth can generally show up at a restriction of 353. With the commonplace trading worth of 340 and or so. They thought Polygon value forecast explicitly walk 2027. The expense of Polygon is expected to really reach at the barely the least most certainly worth of 338 and 2027 or so. They in every practical sense thought the Matic cost could show up at a generally by and large outrageous fundamentally worth of 370, with the ordinary trading cost of 354. All through 2027. In spite of prevalent thinking, Polygon Matic value gauge April 2027. For April, the expense of Polygon generally is expected to show up at an ordinary month to month in every way that really matters. Furthest certainly reaches of 3